All right. I'll reintroduce myself. Stephen, good to see you.
Good to see
How's
you.
everything? Busy day today?
Very, yeah, but
Yeah.
normal. It's good.
We'll try to. Good to hear. I'll try to be brief and just kind of, really, pretty much just like conversational. Just wanted to ask you, what were sort of the results that we got together, and then sort of where did we start, and then what other, basically how much money did you make, if you're open to, sharing those details. Basically, whatever details you're willing to share, whichever ones you're not, it's all good.
Sure, no problem.
But I really appreciate the time. So yeah, so just from that first period that we worked for, how much more money did you guys make working together versus previous sales?
I mean, like we spoke, it was over a sale period, but we still compared other sale periods.
Yeah.
So the uplift that we saw just in conversion rate was like a 54% uplift.
Right.
Which, when it's in sale, is massive in terms of like a final number as well. So kind of like the, I know you actually did a comparison of the day-to-day sale as well.
Right.
The daily numbers compared to other daily numbers during the similar sale periods. And actually, from our side, we had similar style products and similar discounts. So most of it was pretty much the same. I think the sale period was like 1 day longer than we've done before. But in total sales and daily sales, everything went up. Everything.
Yeah. Do you mind if I share any of the numbers that were on that chart?
No, go ahead.
Okay. The because you're right. You had a sale that was 5, 6, or 7 days, and so then this sale was 8 days. So of course, you can't just do like a straight comparison. And the average daily revenue was 1,600, and then this one was 2,900, which is I think that's an 82% uplift, which is pretty badass, pretty great. I shouldn't say that word. Yeah, so that was awesome. How do you, like, when you look at that, how do you describe sort of where the store was before and then what we did to sort of get those results? How do you think about that?
I mean, like what we actually did was kind of,
in the process too.
I guess there was, initially it was, right, who are you? You asked me plenty of questions to get to know the brand, which I really appreciated, because everything that we ended up changing had already some sort of DNA in it that only comes from people that then now know like the brand.
Yeah.
So there was a part where we would just analyze where we want to be, what the brand's about, kind of just get to know it. And then there's another part that you analyzed, which was, okay, what are people saying about the brand? What are the experiences? What's the real shopping kind of footprint that people are leaving? And where can we find opportunities to change them?
Right.
So kind of, let's say that's how we started off. And there was no changes that we made just like straight away, just because every store is different. So for us, made specific changes. I think apart from just, reorganizing homes, making the shoppability of the store a little bit easier, because it was based on kind of like a straight click through to where people were either searching for, ended up at, all the analysis you did. There was kind of like small details to get more customer confidence about what they were buying, right? So our price point is not low. Our average order touches on the $200 mark. Cycling is a niche brand. There's a lot of competition. So you really have to kind of lower the barriers to entry and convince them. And as much as we want to just say, yeah, look, go ahead, it's super easy shopping with us, check out these fantastic photos, or whatever the brand looks like, it still doesn't mean that they understand. So it was really cool getting some fresh eyes from your point of view and fresh inputs that were like, right, okay, well, that sounds great when we talk, but you can't talk to every customer. How do we do this where it's structure plus information that's needed? And that basically fed into the strategy of the changes. And the changes were really based around something very specific for Givelo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a really it's always a really interesting process getting to know people's companies and their brands, and especially getting, it's almost like making a new friend and sort of talking to them about like, hey, you have these really great qualities, let's accentuate these great qualities. Um, so it's and it's also really interesting to sort of to see them in your clothing, and then to talk to you about what you guys say and think of yourselves in the back, and then to sort of make that connection of, this is what we're trying to do, this is what we do in our product, we do these crazy things technically in our materials and our manufacturing, and we know we do it, and the people experience it, but the people who haven't worn them yet, like, they had no idea about some of it, right? That
Exactly.
was uh, a fun process for me as well. And then what were some other results that, besides just the I think it was 82% more revenue for that period, um, sale over sale. What were some other results that we got from that work?
I mean, just the actual conversion ratio went
Right,
up.
right,
I mean, we've had, I think you got the numbers actually yourself, you analyzed them, comparing sale periods. So when I was talking about the 54 uplift was let's say over the month. During the sale period
yeah,
was where we saw this like effort concentrated,
right,
and our average was awful before. Conversion rate during sale periods was 1.16, and it
hmm,
went up to 2.27. And it's like,
right,
I mean, just to
right,
give you an idea, before that, decent sale periods were like 1.6, let's say. So kind of just blew through that one.
right,
A little bit better on the bounce rate. And I think just overall, there's one thing that's hard to explain because it wasn't just taken from an average day, is that we saw a decent level of sale after the first 2 days.
right,
So it was clear that people kind of were getting to where they needed to go, or they were kind of more efficient in their purchasing, even
mhm,
after the first 2 days. That I always kind of like your strongest, because obviously it's you do a like a pre newsletter, you do the launch newsletter. It's super easy for them
right,
to get to the website via the newsletter and whatnot. But then after that, it's kind of, okay, well, look, if is our paid ads running, and then people are kind of working it out themselves, or the people that already purchased it, do they want some more items? And that drops off usually, and is quite low. And actually, we
yeah,
sustained a decent daily amount after the first
yeah,
2 days. We
yeah.
also spent very, very little on Meta and Google.
Which is awesome. Which is
Yeah, which is
awesome.
fantastic, because obviously you don't want,
Right.
it's expensive and there's nowhere else to go
Yeah.
apart from those two, really, and TikTok, that nobody wants to touch, but then they have to sometimes. So you want to make sure that whatever traffic you do pull is efficient. So
Right.
sure, our sales could have been boosted by our actual like digital marketing spend, but it
Hmm.
was lower than any other sale that we've done. In fact,
Wow.
it didn't even come out of the learning period into the like the last couple of days, because
Huh.
that's also like a nice little thing that Meta throw at you. But it had a decent budget behind it, and we ended up spending like nothing basically.
Hmm. Wow. That part I didn't even. I either forgot that or don't. I don't know that we even talked about that, but that's even great. That's additional great news, right? Because uh, an even lower ad spend with even better results, even better ROAS, keep more of the money. That's even better. Uh,
I
that's
just
great.
pulled it up just to give you some numbers, which is, when I say nothing, it's literally not much. $147 we spent on Meta. Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really nothing. And Google we spent close to 500, which is also nothing. ROAS of 4 and 4.7. So
Wow.
sure, if it was like ROAS of 30 or whatever, we still would have contributed a lot of the sale to that digital marketing, or a chunk of it, to the digital marketing side.
Right.
But no, not at all. Like, it was good to see it so useless. Like, oh, I was thinking, what would it have been like maybe if that had worked? But once you get out of those first couple of days, really it's like pushing a very small amount of marginal gain every other
Right.
day. And if you're not efficient with it, it doesn't really matter anyway. But we were
Yeah.
clearly, it was completely the other side.
Yeah. Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. And then that's just something for another conversation is working further up the funnel and working on the overall ad ROAS and getting that to a place where we can all comfortably scale it. But that's maybe phase 2, 3. Great. Are there any other thoughts? Let's see. Any other thoughts you have about the work, or even just ideas for me or for someone else thinking about conversion rate optimization broadly?
Look, I think I said it before already. Going into the process, sometimes you think there's like easy wins. It's like, right, well, obviously this is what every page does, but it's not really the case. It's not just about reorganizing things so people can get to the checkout and actually purchase it easier. I guess at the end of the day, if you want to really improve your ratio, just put everything at $5. Like if you really want to,
Yeah, sure.
if
Yeah,
that's your only objective. But the objective becomes a little bit more complicated when it's all about building your conversion ratio based on value added, or if you've
right,
already got it, explaining it, and
right.
not just pulling your pants down and saying, look, go ahead, that's the only metric that we care about,
Yeah,
which wasn't the case for us, which is something that we always want to protect, which is the brand. And
yeah,
working with anybody outside of Givelo is always like, oh, how am I going to explain to them how important branding is to us and how we don't want to devalue anything? We actually just always want to boost value.
yeah.
Sales are not
Yeah.
something that we actually like to do. That's why it was a flash sale. We decided to do it in a period where not really anyone was doing sale.
Hmm.
We wanted to understand what was happening. We obviously wanted to have a boost in sales, and it's not like a liquidation type of thing of inventories and stuff like that. It's really about latching onto some sort of momentum, and you have to do it like in a Givelo way. And
Hmm.
that's probably what I appreciated the most, that it was kind of right. We're gonna build it. We're gonna build it, and we've been working together now a month,
Yeah,
month and a bit, and for me, it's kind of like the start. Like, great, we started off with a sale, but actually, for me, it's just kind of like, great, we got loads of information out of that sale.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
analyze it, and that's what I now trust. Is that it's kind of like, oh, great, someone is here to help me. Like really look into those kind of things where maybe, or I didn't have time to do it before, or I didn't even think about it.
yeah,
And then just some basic things. It's like, right, here's a list of to-dos, add a banner here, move this right here, organize these little things that before going into this process with you, I thought, right, crap, I've got other things here, but I've really got
yeah,
to just kind of separate a real big amount of time. And
yeah,
actually, you've been a huge help where I haven't had to just leave everything else behind. It's kind of like you've set up the to-dos in a very easy way to understand them, keep track on them, and then you actually put there a column kind of like, look, is this okay for me to do? I'm like, yes,
right,
please. Yeah, great. Go ahead.
right. Yeah,
So
yeah,
we'll do kind of like the content, but maybe just executing it, which at the end of
yeah,
the day, if you're not executing for 2-3 weeks, anything, you're just losing time.
right. Yeah,
So that's been great. Even just kind of the method of working.
yeah. And I appreciate that. That's high praise. That's as good as it gets for me. Um, Great. Well, that's everything I can think to talk about here. Everything else we'll save for secret conversations for future strategies.
Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds good.
Cool.
No,
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure. Really. Thank you. Yeah. And it's
Likewise.
just the
Yeah.
beginning, like I said to you before.
Yeah.
Just getting
And
going.
I've got some deliverables for you, so you'll be hearing from me in a couple days.
Awesome. Awesome.
Right
Speak
on.
soon then.
Thanks again, Stephen.
Take care. Bye bye.